Good morning children. Today we will be learning our lesson number 5, light. Okay, so what is light? In this lesson we will be learning what are the sources of light, what are luminous and non-luminous objects, transparent, translucent and opaque objects, rectilinear propagation of light, the shadows and the eclipses of sun and the moon. Okay, so starting, what is our introduction? We understand that the world around us is seen only with the help of light. Without light, we will not be able to see what is in and around us. Is it not? In the night time, without the electricity, okay, when there is electricity shut down or there is no electricity, can you see what is in and around yourself? No. So, what is light? So, light is a form of energy. Light is a form of energy called electromagnetic radiation. Okay, it is a electromagnetic radiation, and because light is made up of both electrical and magnetic energy and is transmitted as radiation. It is transmitted as radiation. So, what is this? The three words electromagnetic radiation. That is, light is a form of energy with both electrical and magnetic energy combined, and it is transmitted as radiation. We have already learned what is radiation, is it not? Radiation means it will be spreading. It will be spreading in the form of a gaseous form. Okay, you will not be able to see it naked eyes, but it will be moving. The sun is the main source of energy on earth for light. Okay, or is the main source of light for earth. Okay, now we will see in this lesson what is happening with light and its effects. Okay, so what is this? Light is a form of energy which is also called as electromagnetic radiation. That is, it is an energy, electrical energy and magnetic energy together, and it is transmitted in the form of radiation. Now coming to the main source of light. Sun is the main source of light for our planet Earth. Now coming to the sources of light. What are the sources of light? We have two sources. One is natural source, the other one is the artificial source. Natural source and the artificial source. What are the natural sources? Natural sources means that is, the object will have its own light. It will be having its own light. It will not be borrowing from others. So the objects in nature that give out their own light are called natural sources of light. Okay, the main examples will be the sun and the stars. Okay, now in this case we cannot include our moon. Moon will not give light because it is not having its own light. It is reflecting the light from the sun only. So moon is not a natural light source. Now coming to the artificial light sources. So the man-made objects which emit light are called artificial sources. Example: candle, lantern, electrical bulb, fluorescent bulb, CFL, compact fluorescent lamp. This is the expansion of CFL, that is compact fluorescent lamp. LED lamps are all examples of artificial source of light. Okay, some sources like electrical bulbs and fluorescent lamps convert electrical energy into light energy. Fluorescent sources like CFL convert electrical energy into light energy without producing too much heat. Okay, so electrical bulb is also called as incandescent lamp because it means it will be glowing with the heat. Okay, now children, you will be having many small bulbs at your home, right? There, nowadays, we will be using mostly our CFL lamps or our LED lamps. Now, in olden days or in older bulbs, when you touch the bulb after it is burning for say 2-3 hours, if you go and touch the bulb, it will be very hot. Okay, because these bulbs will be radiating heat energy also. Okay, whereas CFL bulbs will be only converting the electrical energy into light energy, and there will be no heat. Okay, without too much heat, not much heat, but there will be light heat. So what are the artificial sources? We have one incandescent bulb and we have one bulb. Okay, now there is one, do you know what is this? Light from the sun takes 8 minutes 20 seconds to reach earth. Okay, this much you should know. And when the sun is the speed of the light, that is the light travels at the speed as 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. You should know these 2 points. The speed, that is light travels at the speed of 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Then the light reaches our earth and the time as 8 minutes 20 seconds. Okay, now we are going to the luminous and non-luminous objects. What are luminous objects? Luminous objects means the objects that emit their own light are called luminous objects. Luminous means they are able to give light, like the sun and the stars are called the luminous objects. Then artificial sources like torches, bulbs, candles are also luminous because they can emit light. Then the measure of brightness of light is known as the luminous intensity. This is a very, very important definition for luminous intensity, and the unit is candela, C-A-N-D-E-L-A, C-A-N-D-E-L-A, candela. Okay, so the measure of brightness, see, when we want to see the brightness, okay, when you take a photo in a camera during the night time, if you want to say, I want to take a photo, what will you do? You can switch on the night mode. That means there will be a flash. So what is this flash doing? It will be helping to give more light or brightness so that you can take the photo or you can capture the object in the night time also. So that type of luminous intensity, you have to measure that intensity. So that intensity is measured in the unit called candela. Okay, now what is this bioluminescence? Bioluminescence, the word bio means obviously we are going to talk about some organisms. Okay, so we are going to talk about some organisms which is emitting the light. Okay, so some living organisms emit light because of the chemical reactions produced in the body. This light is produced because of the enzyme called luciferase. Luciferase is the enzyme which will be producing that glowing property to the living organisms. So this luciferase will chemically react with oxygen in the air. So it is reacting with the oxygen in the air and it will produce that glow. So the process of emission of light is called bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. And organisms that emit light by bioluminescence are called bioluminescent organisms. Okay, so what is that? That is, these organisms will have a special enzyme called luciferase which will react with oxygen in the atmosphere and will make their body glow or will produce light, emit light. So this type of organisms are called bioluminescent organisms. Example, we have firefly. Okay, they will be having the light in their tail when it is in the dark. Similarly, we have many other organisms like millipedes, centipedes and jellyfish, some types of octopuses and squids. So all these organisms will emit light. Okay, then what are the non-luminous objects? The objects that do not emit light on their own, that is, they don't have the capacity to emit light, they are called as non-luminous objects. They are just reflecting the light falling on them. They will be just reflecting the light which is falling on them. So most objects around us are non-luminous, like our door, table, chair, books, etc. Okay, they cannot emit light on their own but can reflect light falling on them. Then the moon shining in the night is also a non-luminous object because it reflects only the sunlight that falls on its surface. Okay, so in this whole topic, what we have learnt is what is light energy. Light energy is nothing but a combination of electrical and magnetic energy, and which is radiated in the form of radiation, which is transmitted in the form of radiation. And what are the sources of light? We have two sources, natural sources and the artificial sources. Natural, that is, it will be emitting its own light, whereas artificial, it will be man-made objects which are the artificial sources. Okay, here two things we have to consider: our LED or the CFL lamps and the electrical bulb. Electrical bulbs are called incandescent bulbs because they glow with heat, whereas the fluorescent bulbs will convert this electrical energy to light energy but with less heat. Coming to the luminous and non-luminous objects. Luminous objects are objects which can emit light of their own. Okay, examples we have already learned: sun and the stars. And the artificial examples, we have the torches, bulbs, etc. Here another important topic we saw is the luminous intensity, the measure of brightness of the light from the light source. The measuring the brightness is called as luminous intensity, and the unit is candela. And the bioluminescence, what is meant by bioluminescence? The organisms which can emit light, because of some chemical reactions that is happening on their body. That is because of the special enzyme called luciferase. That is, what is happening? This luciferase will react with oxygen and will give that glow, or that will give that light. So these organisms are called as bioluminescent organisms. And this process is called as bioluminescence. Example, we have firefly, some octopuses, the jellyfish, etc. Now coming to non-luminous objects. Those objects which do not emit light on their own are called non-luminous objects. They will be reflecting the light which is falling on them. And the most objects in and around us are non-luminescent, and they reflect only the light. Example, the table, the book, etc. Okay, the light is falling on this book and it is not emitting, it is just reflecting. Reflecting means it is coming back. So only we are able to see what is there inside the book. Okay, the next one is the natural non-luminous object will be the moon, because moon does not have light to emit on its own. It will be reflecting the light which is obtained from the sun. Okay, so they cannot emit light on their own, but they can be able to reflect the light which is falling on them. Reflection is when it falls, it will be sent in the other way, or it can be sent in the scattered in all directions. That is why we are able to view the objects. Okay, so till this is the introduction for the lesson light. Go through all this, understand what it is. If you have any doubts, put it in the group in the WhatsApp. Okay, thank you.